So now, good morning and welcome everyone. The topic is content speaking. As I've mentioned, there are only two important lessons pertaining to the speaking subtest that you must attend. And there are speaking skills enhancement, which we've already accomplished 2 weeks prior to this discussion. And this lecture, content speaking. So don't worry if you missed the speaking skills enhancement. We will be teaching that again sometime in the middle of February, because skills enhancement lectures are always included in a monthly roster of our lectures available. So first of all, let's get to know what the speaking subtest is. So in the IELTS, which the examination you will be taking in the coming months, it stands for International English Language Test System. The aim is for this exam to measure your abilities in it. So we have the listening, reading, and writing subtests, and we have the speaking component of the exam. So the listening, reading, writing, we refer to that as the written component. Can you guys repeat that? Written component. Okay, so listening, reading, writing is our written component. So what do we mean? The mode of answering questions would be either pen and paper or computer delivered exam. Depends on which one you are much more comfortable taking. So let's first identify the strengths and weaknesses of either. So if you take the pen and paper based examination, then obviously you can write your answers much faster in the listening and reading tests. Whereas if you're going to take the computer based, you can type them. If you guys are an individual or not very familiar with the keyboard, then we suggest that you take the pen and paper based. The downside of it is that the results will be out after 15 days back. So can you imagine the agony of someone who will take the pen and paper based exam? 2 weeks silang balisa. Wala kami nakausap. 2 weeks silang di kakain. Hindi nagbubukas ng pinto sa kwarto. Hindi nakikipag-socialize, only for them to know na medyo kinapos yung score. So nakakalungkot. But si computer-based exam, Monday. Teka, parang gusto kong mag-take ng IELTS. Pabook nga ako. Exams na book. Nag-exam ka ng Friday, Sunday, out of result. So in a span of 6 to 7 days, you book the test, results are out. You already know whether you passed or not. Hopefully pass. So, mabilis. So now that is your written component. And today is not the day where I will teach you the written component. We should set that one aside for some other days to come. The main agenda of today's discussion is to know the speaking exam. In general, the speaking skills enhancement is much more focused on the standards, the aspects that examiners can objectively measure. There are metrics, there are parameters that they could use to help them assess. Hey, this candidate uses this word for the entire conversation. You will get deductions off of your vocabulary and lexical resource. You're not responding promptly to the question, or you are responding to the question even without fully acknowledging what the question is. So you will get deductions off of your fluency and cohesion. So there are some hesitations during your speech. Obviously, you're telling lies. Mahalata kasi medyo utal-utal ka. So the pronunciation delivery aspect would get deductions for it. So those are the speaking skills enhancement agenda. But today, our topic is content. So first of all, what the heck is content? Content means substance. The content of your answer, making you a candidate. an unforgettable candidate, giving the examiner the most pleasant experience. Because let's be honest, I met an examiner 4 years ago. Her name was Johanna Moten. So on her first slide discussing IELTS, she told us, okay, look at me. This is my photo taken some years ago. I will not disclose when. Look at my child riding this horse. Next slide. This is my child. Graduated in her course. She took law. So from infancy to graduating law, she's still studying. Johanna, can you imagine? There's so many PhDs under her belt already. Their job is the most boring job ever. Why? They ask the same questions every day, and they get almost exactly the same boring response. That sometimes people forget that it is also important to focus on substance. Okay? Just for the sake of eating, people will go to fast food chains, McDonald's, Jollibee, etc., for them to get themselves full. Although the feeling of fullness is there, but the nutrition isn't. By the way, I like going to McDonald's. I am not telling my wife that sometimes go to McDonald's in secret and I set aside my vegetables. But if you know what I mean, regarding content, ito po yung laman. Again, this has something to do with perspective. If we compare it to chicharon, you have the cropik. My grandmother loves cropik. Hangin lang yun ang laman. But some people would enjoy eating pork chicharon. Nakitang-kita nila yung layer na ito yung meat, ito yung fat, ito yung skin. So may isa pang layer. Diba? Tataas lahat. LDL, total cholesterol level, creatinine. So that's the thing. People have their own perspective. But this is the best possible analogy I can think of. Think about your favorite food. Think about it. If your favorite food is adobo, think about adobo. If your favorite food is sinigang, like me, think about sinigang. Think about sinigang. And how many times have you tried eating? How many times? For countless times already, right? Most probably, I've eaten sinigang for God knows how many times already. Tuwing nandito ako sa office, pag tinanong, ano, sinigang! Kinabukasan, sinigang ulit. Totoo. Alright? Kinabukasan, gising-gising naman. Iba-iba. But that's how I love eating sinigang. In a week, probably I'll eat it 2 to 3 times. But there will be an unforgettable moment. The one time I ate sinigang, I cannot forget, simply. I'm the type of person that when people look at me, sabi nila, sir, ba't lagi kang energetic? Diba? May sipon nga ako ngayon, tapos energetic pa ako. Nag-duty ako, puyat, tapos sabi nila, sir, ba't hindi ka naubusan ng energy? Okay? I never saw myself in a very down moment, all except sometime in 2007. So down, I'm so depressed, I don't know why. Ba't pa ako nalulungkot? Hindi naman ako malulungkotin tao. Sabi ko sa sarili ko. So I wasn't eating like I used to. Kasi magana akong kumain. No, nalulungkot ako. Merong ako naging problem that time. Tapos sabi ko, I'm not as jolly as I used to. So medyo na ang gray, black, and white ng surroundings. Tapos may uncooked sinigang. Alam niyo sa commercial ng sinigang mix, humigop sila ng sabaw, tapos naging may color na lahat. Ganon. That was the most unforgettable sinigang for me. And examiners, there are some unforgettable candidates as well. And I want you to be their sinigang of 2017. I want you to be unforgettable. How many students have I coached? More than 7,000. How many unforgettable students have I encountered? One. Isa pa lang. Totoo. Tinanong ko siya. Usual day, coaching. How many are in the family? Sir, we're 17 in the family. I'm sure, ma'am. 17. Teka lang muna, mamaya tayo mag-coaching, kwentuhan muna tayo. Kumusta yung nanay mo? Okay. Tingin na ng picture niya. Sabi sa kanya. That was the first time encountered an unforgettable candidate. Everyone else, blurred na yan. I don't remember any of their answers anymore. Do you think that is something I can easily forget? Sometimes I think about it at praying. Lord, take care of my family, keep them safe, keep them healthy. And the mother of this student, 17 children, my God. Huh? That's content. I'm not telling you to tell a lie. No? Sir, 18 kami. Diba? Tatalawa lang kayo sa bahay. I'm not telling you to tell a lie. But regardless of whatever question it may be, there's a possibility you can highlight content. So for today's agenda, we want to identify, besides the 4 areas of the language that I must work hard to get through: fluency, vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation. What is this content? That is what we're about to find out. Okay? So first, let's draw the line between the misconceptions of candidates. They claim that speaking is difficult. Who among you guys here believe that speaking is difficult? Can you guys raise your hand? Sino niniwala po na mahirap po ang speaking? Wala. Putang na niya. Ano? Madali, Okay. Okay, guys, this is a misconception. I actually like that you didn't raise your hand because tell yourself this. Speaking is not difficult exam. There's something that makes this easy. And what is that something? You are this something that makes this exam easy. Why? Because the examination will be about you. The examination will not be anything similar to, can you tell me what my favorite book is? No, know you. But the question will be about you. What's your favorite book? What is the time of the day that you like the most? Which part of the day are you more active? Daytime or nighttime? Kakaiba tayo eh. May mga mahilig mag-puwet dyan. Ako, 8:30, di mo na papakinabangan. Lobat na. Automatic shutdown na. So we are different from each other. Exploit that. Okay? Know yourself. Know who you are. Improve your relationship. Interpersonal relationship. Know the common facts about yourself. Your interests, likes, dislikes. That's what makes speaking easy than most of the tests out there. If I put it in ranking, listening is the easiest. Speaking comes next, right after. Then reading, then writing. Writing is the most difficult test, and you will know this coming Saturday why. So please come this Saturday at 9 a.m. for you to know. May writing ba ako this Saturday? Yeah, tama yan. That's it. Now for speaking, let me tell you this story. One of my classmates in college, naging estudyante ko siya dito, nagpunta siya ng US na. Actually, ang plan niya was to go to the UK initially. Ang score niya in the IELTS, speaking 8. What? Speaking 8. Reading 5. Can you imagine? Speaking was very high, but reading was quite subpar. 5 lang sa reading. Eh sa UK, bilang nurse, hindi ka makakarating doon kung 5 lang reading mo. Kailangan 7 lahat, kahit sobrang taas pa ng isa. That's how I can describe that speaking is even easier than reading. Because in listening reading, you can get your answers easily. Answers are there. You just have to find them. But speaking, you have to express your answers. You have to be personal about it. The more personal you are, the more content you put into it, the better assessment you will have. It is scary. Why? When does something become scary? People become scared of something they don't know about. We become anxious with things that we don't have much idea about. If this is our first time doing something, chances are you'll be nervous. Like obviously, okay, we're in a classroom. Okay, ikaw bukas ang mag-present ng duties and responsibilities of the executive officials of the country. I don't know about it. Tapos ang kaharap mo, libo-libong tao. Kasi ikaw naman, tutugtugan ng piano sa harap ng 1,000 katao. Ano ka malam sa piano? Diba? So, you will be scared. You will be anxious. Partly because you're not used to the situation you're putting yourself into. And you are having this second thought that you will be judged by people, or in this case, the examiner. Guys, we're paying those examiners to judge us. That's what we pay for. Binabayaran natin sila para husgahan tayo. So talaga nakakatakot yan because lahat yan ina-assess ka nila from head to foot. Paano ang itsura ng buhok nito? Diba? Ano ba suot? Even those are included, which I'm going to include as a topic here. Once again, whatever that is apart from fluency, vocab, grammar, pronunciation, the way you dress, the way you handle yourself professionally, your hand gestures, included here. Okay? So, is the examination scary? Quick answer, yes, if you are not prepared for it. But if you're used to doing it, imagine when I was a student, we were tasked by our clinical instructor to take blood pressure of our classmates. Imagining a scenario that I am a nurse and this person is my patient. That was my first time taking a blood pressure. Kasi yung iba, meron sila mga lola, nagtitake sila ng BP, kabisado na nilang i-pump yun. Ako, first time ko talaga nakahawak ng sphygmomanometer. I was shaking. Take na po blood pressure. That was in 2009. Fast forward 2010, we had this community set up where we do our nursing duties to the community. So we went to San Jose. Makakalimutan yan. First na yan, ng San Jose. Napakadaming pasyente sa RHU. Pinabibi lahat sa amin. Okay, nasa 200 dati binipi ko from morning until afternoon. Pag-uwi ko sa bahay, hindi ko kailan marinig. No? So naging hustler na ako sa pagbibipi because of that. Because of how many times I've taken blood pressure of people. More than 200 times. I have improved my mastery on taking someone's blood pressure. So, kung hindi natin may compare yan, kasi hindi naman tayo lahat nurses. First time mo nag-drive. Diba? Hindi naman agad, naka-60 takbo mo. Pag lumiko ka nga, bitaw ka sa gas. Tingin ka dyan. Diba? Turn signal. Dahan-dahan. Ngayon, harapas ka na mag-drive. No? Lalong-lalo na kung naka-e-bike ka, siga ka talaga sa kalsada. Diba? Diba sa kalsada may mga guhit na gano'n? Doon sila sa gitna. Okay? Ayaw nila lang gilid. Galit sila sa gilid. Kasi may mga e-bike kasi, may ano yan. May sensor yan para pag naramdaman nilang gumigilid, igigitna nila automatic. Okay? May gyroscope. Alright. So the first time it drove something, maybe bicycle, motorcycle, or four-wheel vehicle, any type of vehicle, probably you had encountered some problems. Meron mga taong di naman problema sa first time doing something. Tawag doon mga talented. True. Di ba? Like, first time mo nakipaglaro ng basketball, parang ang galing na itong tao na to. First time pa lang na naglaro ng basketball. Talented na sila. They were born for it. Sabi nga nila, hard work beats talent any day. So if we can't be talented as them, because we're not blessed with talent, we can do something about it. We just don't sulk in the corner, crying, why am I not talented like them? You have to do your craft. You have to improve your own craft. So it is scary initially, yes. It's scary if you're not used to the situation, becomes even scarier if you're not going to do a practice. Examiners are intimidating. The answer here is partly. There are some examiners na may mga tao talagang ganun eh. No? Pagising pa lang nila, good morning, maging masama kayo, ugali ko ngayong araw. May ganun eh. Tama? Totoo yan. Nasa tao po yan. So one thing I don't like about IELTS is the fact that you will be assessed by a person. A person kasi can have a prejudice. A human being has his or her own bias. Bakit binagsak yung tao na yun? Ang galing-galing niya. Nagtataka kami minsan eh. Huh? Totoo. Alam mo yan, minsan parang wala namang ginagawa sa yung tao. Parang tinitingnan mo siya, kumukulo na yung dugo mo agad. May nangyari ba sa inyo yan? Ano ito? Ano namang ginagawa sa akin? Naiinis ako. Yung pala kamukha ng ex mo. O kamukha ng pinalit sa'yo ng ex mo. So examiners, they're not free from the whims of judgment of man. They could have their prejudice as well, no matter how experienced they are when it comes to being professional. So some examiners tend to be really intimidating. Let me name someone. Ara Escalana. Remember the name, people. You can actually Google her. Let me do the honors of Googling her. Ara, yeah. Itong examiner yan, si Ara Escalana. Ayan po siya, mga kaibigan. So this is Miss Ara Escalana, the one in the middle. Okay. Woman with glasses, tall, tries to intimidate candidates often. Medyo nakakatakot siyang examiner. So let me tell you a story. Just kasi 2 slides pa lang tayo, na 30 minutes na. Puro kwento. No? So let me tell you this story. My best friend in college, his thesis won. It's the best thesis in the region. He belonged to the special class in the National High School in my town, in Gapan City, NES. So, kasama siya sa special section. So, nung college, parehas kaming scholar ng congressman. So, obviously, I put this person with high regard when it comes to intellect. Talino. Hindi may kakaila. Best thesis, cum laude. Tapos, scholar pa. Diba? Ideal man yun. Loyal, matipid, puti. Take na exam for US Visa Screen. Ang naging examiner si Ara Escalana. His score? 6. What's the score someone need to get to US if you're a nurse. A band 7 in speaking. So, pinapos. Ayan. One of my friends in Japan, she is a mom of 3. She's bound to go to New Zealand for working visa permit. First time nag-coaching, sabi ko, kalimutan mo na pag-New Zealand. Dahil bibigyan kita ng bagsak na score. 4 ang bibigay ko sa'yo. Bakit naman? Kasi ang bobo mo, sabi ko sa kanya. Tatanga mo! Ito yun. Tinapat ko siya. Ikaw na mag-New Zealand. Saan ako pupunta? Mag-Afghanistan ka na lang. Sabi ko sa kanya. Alright? Now, back then, we don't have computer business. We only have the pen and paper delivered exam. And if you want to pass the exam with high percentages, you need to consider Kabanatuan, Dagupan, Pampanga. Sa mga mag-i-exam po dito, 3 lang po ang pagpipilian natin. Dagupan, Kabanatuan, Pampanga. May isang estudyante. Sir, sa Baguio City po ako nag-book. Nako, i-condolence yung nakakayong kaklase. Totoo. No one must, look at the model verb I'm using. No one must take their exams in Baguio City. Don't take your exams in Baguio City. You will ask me, sir, why? Just don't take the exams in Baguio City. Basta. Bawal. Okay, huwag nyo nang itanong pa. Okay. So, ito na nga ang kwento. Nag-take siya ng exam. Sabi niya, saan ba ako mag-take? Kabanatuan, Dagupan, Pampanga. Kasi magkakasabay yung exam Dagupan at Kabanatuan. Sabi ko sa kanya, alam mo, ganito lang yan kasimple. Alam mo yung mga pinsan nyo na taga Manila? Alam niyo yan? Uuwi sila pag undas, pag Pasko. Tama ba? Tapos, pag umuwi sila, meron silang main character vibe. Pre, ito kami sa Manila, pre. Oo, no, proud to you. Gusto naman sa'yo, kumampol na gano'n. Gusto naman, may main character effect. So, sabi ko, since taga-Kabanatuan ka, tapos sa Kabanatuan ka mag-exam, halos lahat kayo, pare-parehas lang ng sagot. Where are you from? Tell me about your place of residence. Wala halos differences. So, hindi ka kakaiba. So, para ka kung may content, lahat sila magkakabanatuan. Pagdagupan ka. Sige. Malay mo, tumaas ng konti yung bigay ko sa yung 4. O maging 5. Pwede na yan pag OBS, pag pinagsama-sama natin. Kasi kailangan mo lang OBS. Pasok ka na. New Zealand. O nga, no? Sige, sa Dagupan na lang ako. Ngayon, merong isang examiner. Makabait. Totoo. Pag yun ang naging examiner nyo, sabi nyo agad sa akin, sir, ang naging examiner ko po, si Cindy La Rosa daw po ang pangalan. Okay? Tara na. Mag-samji na. Celebrate ka na agad. Di ba lumalabas yung result? Celebrate ka na. So, mag-impake ka na. Ayusin mo na yung maleta mo. Pwede mo na yung visa mo. Tandaan niyo yung pangalan. Cindy La Rosa. Naglilibo. Tapos, may kulay. Halo yung white hair sa medyo red. No? Kasi matanda na po si Cindy. Nakasalamin siya. Meron siyang pendant na krus. Religious kasi si Cindy. Kaya puro kabaitan lang po ang sasabihin. No? Are you a friendly person? Yes. I'm friends with everyone. Ganun ang mga sagutan. Okay? So she's a very tenured examiner. A British woman. Bakit La Rosa? Nakapangasawa po siya dito sa Pilipinas. Dito na siya nag-stay. Ngayon, ito yung nangyari. Ang naging examiner ng mga students kung sa Kabanatuan, that time, August yun, hindi ako nagkakamali. Kasi Cindy, yung mabait. At ang naging examiner sa Dagupan, si Ara. Magiling yung cellphone ko ganyan, nasa kasalan ako. Kasalan. Reception. Ba't na rin sinagot ko? Go! Mura ng mura yung friend ko. Kasi nga, may group chat kami before. Senior nila, si Cindy po ang aming examiner, napakabait. Sir, thank you so much po agad. Congratulations everyone. Sabi niya. Kasi pasado na kayong lahat. Ay, hindi ko pa nakikita yung results. Kasi yung examiner, sure ball. Babagsak ka na lang kay Cindy pag sinadya mo. Totoo yun. Sinadya mong bumagsak. Alright? Galit siya, obviously. Kasi nga, natapat siya dun sa masungit exam. Alam niya yung kwento ng best friend ko sa college na yung talino pero naka-6 na sa. Alam niyo ba kung ano nakuha ang score? Friend ko na yan, from Ara. 6.5. Sige, mas mataas pa, sir. Na score na nakuha. Best friend. Laude, best in thesis, scholar. Naka-6 lang siya kaya. Yun po guys ang paliwanag that this is not an intelligence exam. Your intelligence doesn't scale well here. If your answers are personal, if your answers are able to express themselves through your delivery, that is what examiners get excited about. Make this about yourself. Okay? Tell them stories about yourself. They've heard all kinds of sentence structure, but what they seek more is this pleasurable experience to share with you during the conversation. So please be a human being. Express emotions if you want. Feel free to do that. All for content. So yes, examiners could be intimidating, but we should not move an inch. Should not falter. Show your resolve, how hungry, how thirsty you are to get this score so that you can get there. Gaano mo ka gusto ito? Kahit nang i-intimidate pa examiner, push ka lang. Kuha? Alright. Fourth misconception, it is impossible to get a 7 in this category. I had a student with a cleft palate. His score, 6.5. Sir Irvin had a student with a cleft palate. Her score was 7. So if those students, despite their physical deformity, got a band 6.5, a band 7, because they poured every ounce of hard work into it, what's preventing you from even getting higher than those? So one time in 2019, from 2017 to 2019, I am part of the pioneers of Niner Bootcamp. So Niner Bootcamp is a group of lecturers from Niner who do one-on-one coaching abroad. So yung shift ko is from 5 p.m. hanggang 10 p.m. So magtuturo ako dito ng 9, matapos kami roughly around 2, 3 p.m. Biyahe ko, pa-traffic ako sa punyetang Tulay ng Gapan. So oras ako doon. Tapos balik ako ng bahay mo 4, start na ako ng shift ko ng 5, 6, yan. So mostly mga Middle East, Russians, Chinese, may Japanese ako naging student, may Argentina, di ba? May Tanzanian. So all around the world, we coach candidates. So one time, I had this very difficult student. Usually, I have struggles with old students and academic students. Why? Because usually, older candidates and academic students have already fixed their mind onto something. This is what I want to believe in. You cannot tell me otherwise. But I still want to be coached. So it's difficult to teach them because mahirap nang baguhin yung mind nila na yun. They're fixated on something. So that candidate, I'm having difficulties with. He keeps on doing what I'm telling him not to do. And he's not doing what I'm telling him to do. So, okay, let's get this over with. I'm just going to coach you just for the sake of coaching you. Sunod ako sa gusto mo, but I will not promise you will pass. So he took his exam. He got 6.5, obviously not enough still to go to the US. Because if you want to go to the US as a nurse, you need to get a band 7. Correct? So always remember that, okay? Because this will be a very interesting part of the story. You need to get a band 7. So he got 6.5. Fast forward, he sent me a message. Sir, can I request you from Sir Edward to be my personal coach? Well, that's tampering. It's not part of my code of conduct. It's not part of the it's not part of our role to go against this description. So, okay, let me just request you whenever you're available. Took the exams again, failed the exams again, obviously, because he doesn't listen. By January, I was heartbroken. Found out my ex cheated on me. I saw dun sa phone. Ganyan yung mata ko. Kita ko. The name of the guy was Francis. May Francis ba dito? Ay, wala. The name of the guy was Francis. So January, this candidate sent me a message once again. Sir Edward said you resigned from being a coach from Niner Bootcamp. Can you help me take the exams and get a 7 once and for all? Sabi ko, let me think about it. You know why? Out of that time, nasa 4,000 students na naturuan namin. Out of the 4,000 candidates na naturuan ko, lahat ng pangalan, Francis, may pangalan mo. Kaya teka lang, pag-isipin mo muna ako, ha? Can you imagine? I was heartbroken that time with a guy named Francis. And this message of a hard-headed student popped up. The name was fucking Francis. Ah! But this is my passion. I want to help people pass their exams, regardless of money. All right? I want to help them. I want to see them succeed. And his story actually moved me. You know what, sir? My last exam was already my 19th attempt. Ang ilan na? Ang 11 na take. I started taking exams 15 years ago. 2018 minus 15, I was 13. I was just about to graduate my elementary school. Pag-graduate pa lang ako ng elementary, no? Nag-take na siya ng took the examination 19 times. And he was not getting 7. Puro 6, 6.5, 6, 6.5. If you're that person, what does this tell you? You're not good enough. After 5th attempt, please stop. You're not built for this. Ops na. Lubayan mo na yung pangarap mo. Hindi ka para dito. But no, continue. Sabi ko, I want you to make a promise. I'll tell you everything you need to know. Do them religiously. He would claim, sir, I think one of the reasons why you're giving me low band scores is because my grammar isn't. Forget about grammar. Forget it. Look at me. Forget grammar. Fuck grammar. Throw it away. You could have minor errors in tenses. Fine. Examiners may not even recognize them. Di nga nila nahalata yung mistakes eh. Because they don't care much about grammar. Not as much as we thought they care about grammar. Focus on your pronunciation. That's the part where we focus. Pronunciation, delivery, fluency. Doon lang kami umikat. October 2020, pandemic year, got 7 after 20 tries. Finally. Sabi ko sa student na yun, every year, I receive trophies. I receive plaques of appreciation. Being the #1 review center in Cabanatuan, in Region 3. I don't care about plaques. May 4 pa nga ako dun sa main branch na hindi kiniklaim. Hindi nga ako ma-attend sa awarding ceremony. Because I don't care about awards. I don't care about plaques. Ang gagawin ko dyan, display lang. But you are the best recognition I can brag to anyone. I helped someone get a 7 after 20 attempts. For me, I'm going to retire from teaching IELTS after this all is over. That's the one unforgettable story I can tell to anyone. So guys, tell yourself this. Getting a 7 is not impossible. As long as you're going to do the right thing. As long as you hit all the right switches. Getting a 7 is achievable. Getting an 8 is possible. Getting a 9 is our goal. Chances of you getting a 9 in speaking is even higher than getting a 9 in reading. So tell yourself this, I'm not here just to get a 4. I'm not here just to get a 7 or 8. I'm here because I will get a 9 and I can get a band 9 in speaking if I do the right things. Okay? So, ito na nga po tayo. No po ang sagot natin yan. Ano? Remember, the speaking test will be the same for all test takers, regardless of module. So we have academic, we have general training. Questions that will be asked to academic will be the same with general training. How long will the examination last? 10 to 15 minutes, the shortest exam in the IELTS. We also refer to the speaking test as the isolated exam. So if your written component, just remember the written component, listening, reading, writing. If you book your examinations, for example, your exam for listening, reading, writing is 27. That will fall on Saturday. Your examination for speaking could be on Friday in the afternoon of 27 or 28. Even Sunday, they have their exams. So madalas nga, Sunday ang ating speaking dyan. So sir, can I choose when my examination for speaking happens. So ko po kasi, sir, same day na lang eh. Kasi pupunta, sir, ako sa Manila, since UKVI nga po ang aking exam, gusto ko isang araw na lang ako doon para hapon uwi na ako. Ang hassle naman kung 2 araw pa, speaking 15 minutes lang. So yes, pwede po yan. So if you're going to ask us to book your exam, please let us know that you want the same day exam because we can arrange that. So if you're booking on your own, this is what happens. You're going to click the buttons. You're going to click the information sheet on a calendar. So first, your written exam. So nakabilog yun exactly kung anong time. Let's say 27. Tapos sa speaking, that's the next page of the website. So you can choose whether it's 26, 27, or 28. And what are the available times. The earlier you book your exams, the more available time slots will be. Kaya syempre, kung may mga nakabook na ng ibang time, hindi na yun for you. Makukuha. So para maunahan mo sila, mag-book ka na mas lahat. Clear po? Question so far? All right. Let's continue. Our objectives for today includes to be able to organize speech or answers in the IELTS speaking exam, to be able to come up with an effective answer to questions asked in the speaking subtest, and to be able to practice how to become a better speaker. So for you to practice how to become a better speaker, the first thing you need to know is that you must be familiar with the questions in the exam. And luckily for us, we have compiled the possible questions that can be encountered in the exams. So we listed them down into what we call the speaking task cards and speaking examination flow. So all the possible questions are there. If that is still not enough, you can type the keyword #speaking on our Facebook group, which I'm doing right now. Hashtag, don't forget that, speaking. And then click enter. So for those of you over Zoom, sindihan ko lang muna yung aking camera. Dumami ba tayo? Nabawasan pa ng isa. So ito po. So scroll. Makikita po natin yung mga questions. These were the past questions that my former students have encountered. Okay? So we don't want anything from you after passing the exam. Some people will be coming in here, sir, thank you very much. Pumasa po ako sa exam. Tanggapin niyo po itong regalo muna sa akin, isang piling na saging. It's okay if you don't do that. May darating dito, may dalang pizza. It's fine. Kahit walang pizza. But we only ask one thing from you. And that is, please, share your questions to us so that we can update our list of questions that the next generation of test takers can be aware of. Para po sa susunod na magtitake, matulungan nyo din po sila. Okay? So make yourself familiar with the questions. Ayan. Part 1, name, working or studying. Sunod, what is your full name? Where do you live? Are you working or studying? Your name, where do you live? Do you live in a house or an apartment? So I will always tell you this. In the IELTS speaking exam, we have 3 default questions. We have the, what is your name? Are you working or are you studying? Do you live in a house or an apartment? Clear? Lagi po yung matatanong. Kung papunta ka sa exam, yun man lang, simpleng tanong na yan, hindi mo masagot. How can you convince the examiner that you're a candidate worth giving of a band 7 even? Dapat meron ka ng ano dyan recorded answer that you put in your mind. Wala di ba yung episode sa SpongeBob? Merong filing cabinet sa kakagawin mga SpongeBob, hinahanap yung memory nila. I want you to compile all your possible answers to task 1 in a file cabinet. Tapos, yung pinakamadaling mahanap is, what is your name? Are you working or studying? Do you live in a house or not? Because no matter who the examiner is, no matter when you take the exam, those 3 questions the game. Okay. So how are we going to practice how to become a better speaker? So we will do that to a process called one-on-one coaching. So what is a one-on-one coaching? One-on-one coaching is when you will be writing your name on a list of paper, which gives you the slot to be interviewed. Who will give you the interview? We will ask you questions that you may encounter in the exam. We will let you experience it the same way as the actual exam. You know the comments we usually get from test takers? Coaching is actually much more difficult than the actual test. Is that true, Benito? We let you experience it during coaching, a much more difficult level compared to the actual thing. Why are we increasing the difficulty level? Bakit parang uncomfortable ng mismong exam, right? Pag coaching parang hirap. Because that's the goal. We want you to experience a bit more difficulty level so that when you get there, the difficulty level is as difficult as the one that we have let you encounter. Then it will be easier for you to manage. But if it's easier, then you will be more comfortable, something that we would like to happen. That's the goal. During one-on-one coaching, you will subject yourself in an interview. We will ask you questions according to the examination proceedings. And based on your performance, we'll give you your assessment. Something that is not going to happen in the test. Because in the test, your turn is done. Okay? You may now leave the room. Katawagin na yung kasunod. They don't give you assessment. But during coaching, we will let you know what are the things that went well and what tips can we suggest that if you follow will hope you get a higher band score the next time you do this one-on-one and even when you take your exams. So the goal of the coaching session is to give you this collective experience. We're not actually trying to imitate kasi who knows what the questions will come out. Diba? Hindi natin alam. Sa haba-haba ng pinaghandaan ng isang student, wala man lang doon sa mga natanong ko sa kanya yung natanong sa exam. For example, the questions that I asked this candidate was about work, leisure activities, time, family members, friendship, television, commercials, etc. Natanong sa kanya about trees. Natanong sa kanya about animals. Natanong sa kanya about fish. Diba? So, we're not teaching you to that we can copy exactly what will happen. But should you encounter a similar scenario, regardless of what questions will come out, we can give you these methodologies, how to respond to those questions properly. That's what our aim is. Ano man yung tanong, mahirap man o madali, because I've trained for this, I can respond to whatever question will appear in the test. That's your ideology. Clear? So, your speaking test will be divided into 3 parts. Part 1 is what we call the introduction and interview. Okay pa? In the introduction and interview, there's either 4 minutes or 9 questions. It's either 4 minutes or 9 questions, whichever comes first. Now, let me ask you guys, question. Which do you want? 9 questions or 4 minutes? 4 minutes? 4 minutes? 4 minutes? Good. The majority, we're getting answer is 4 minutes. Actually, we would want 4 minutes instead of 9 questions. Why? Because if we're going to spend 40 seconds to 1 minute answering one question, imagine, Kevin, are you working or are you studying right now? I'm currently employed as a staff nurse at Premier Medical Center. I've been working there for 6 months now. Started back in August. So my job here is not very difficult because I'm used to delivering patient care, even though my job is quite difficult at the moment because there are so many patients dealing with different kinds of diseases. It's still my passion helping them, and it's a very compassionate seeing them recover from their diseases. That's why I love my job as a nurse. Naka 40 seconds ako sa question. So because I can respond to one question with this amount of time and that amount of content, I can limit the number of questions. Kasi baka ang tanong lang sa'yo, your name, working, studying, live in a house and apartment, hobbies, dahil naka 4 minutes na, okay, tayo sa task 2. 4 minutes ka na eh. Hindi na kita tatanong ng iba pang questions. Kasi may tanong pa sana ako dito eh. What is your favorite bird? Tsaka what is the significance of birds in your life? Buti na lang. Kasi kung maikli lang sagot mo, naabutan mo pa yun. Nagigets po yung tanong? Tangay na, ano alam mo sa birds? What is the significance of birds in your life? God damn, natatanong ko yun ha. May questions tayo. Nakakatawa man siya, pero yun po yung dahilan. Why we want 4 minutes. And for you to make sure that your task 1 will only last for 4 minutes with fewer questions than most, answer questions as much details. Don't stop. Don't you dare stop. Speak as if there's no tomorrow. You don't want to be asking so many questions. So, napakadali lang po ng tanong sa task 1. So, the first 3, the most common, name, working, studying, live in a house or apartment, what are your hobbies? You like watching movies? You like listening to music? Have you ever had an experience attending a concert before? You know how to play musical instruments? If you know, yes, I know how to play different kinds of musical instruments, like guitar, drums. When I was in high school, I was taught by my classmate how to play guitar. It was very popular pastime activities back then. But in college, I tried playing drums. It actually fitted my personality much more because I can now deal with my activity levels. I have very high activity levels, especially so. Playing the drums gets me relaxed. So that's the reason why I like playing musical instruments, especially during free time. So I used to be in a band as well. That's why I was able to hone my skills of playing the guitar and the drums. Fortunately, we disbanded during my 3rd year in college because we were so busy with studies. The reason why we studied in the first place, of course, to graduate. Being in a band is just putting us in a much more difficult situation. So we decided to disband. But still, up until today, I play the guitar every now and then, and I still play the drums when the neighbors are not home because I might get sued of playing too much noise. I'm actually doing something about my room where I put my drums in so that the noise levels will be reduced the outside. So I put some acoustic panels. So playing this instrument is really fun. Hindi ka lumulubay, di ba? Kwento ka lang. Pero on topic ka pa din. Okay? So in part 1, what you develop here, the most important thing you need to develop is rapport and connection. to the exam. Okay? How are we going to establish rapport and connection? So first, you need to be pleasing to look at. Okay? So is it pleasing to look at? Do you need to be good looking? Again, we cannot change what God has given unless you undergo plastic surgery. Right? So you need to look presentable. You need to look professional. So, ladies, huwag naman po sana sabukot yung buhok, no? Gulo-gulong ganyan. So comb your hair. Tie your hair if you want. Okay? Have it cut short. Oh. Ano pa? Dress your best. Isa nating student, chika ko lang, baka nakikinig siya dito. Pasado na yan, nag-message siya sa akin. Pumunta sa exam, naka-crop top. Exam to. Buti na lang, taga dyan, may ka muna. Gusto. Crop top si ate. Gusto naman. Pupunta ka ba ng presim? Smart casual, semi-formal. So for male candidates, can wear anything with collar. If it's a dress shirt or a button shirt, collared shirt, that will be the best. For pants, slacks would be much preferred. Black denim would be also nice. Hindi naman kasi makikita yung pambaba. But due to the hotel and exam policies, bawal po sa atin naka-shorts, sandals, anything that your toes can be seen. Mga peep toes, kahit na pumps pa yan for ladies, masalitaw po yung daliri. Sir, butas po yung sapatos pa. Huwag kang piloso po, ha? Okay. Basta anything labas ng daliri, na nasisilip yung paa, bawal. Alright, so you can wear dull shoes for females. Sneakers is fine. Okay, sneakers, okay na yung mga Nike shoes, mga dull shoes, yan, Adidas, yan, pwede po yan. Huwag lang po i-crops, yan, butas-butas yan. Okay? So, ano pa? Color. You have to wear light color. Because according to studies, they are much more pleasing to look. So, pwede po yung sky blue or yung pink na light pastel lang ang color ng pink. Hindi yung yung glow in the dark, green, yellow. So, huwag mga neon colors. So, huwag mga kulay stable, ha? Alright. So, yun lang. Ano pa? Smile! Kasi, good morning. My name is Kevin. I'll be your examiner. What's your name? Kevin. My name is Mark. Oh, Mark, you must have a bad day. Yes. I can't find a decent parking spot. That's why I'm having a bad day. Huwag po tayong pagmula ng negatibo sa buhay. Lahat ng sagot natin, hopefully, on a positive side. For example, where do you live? Japan City. I hate that place. But always traffic in Natulay. Tatanong ko lang, saan ka nakatira? Galit ka na. Dapat puro kabutihan po, anak. Right. Where do you live? Well, I grew up in Japan City. It's the southernmost part of Nueva Ecija, near the borders of Pampanga and Bulacan. So my town is known as the sleeper capital of the North. However, most of the jobs of the people there belong to agriculture. So raising cattle, chickens, and growing crop are the primary jobs of individuals in the place where I live. So my house is strategically located in the community called Mangino. So you can access the amenities of my town easily. It's just 3 to 5 minute drive using your own vehicle, or about 10 minutes if you want to walk. So it's very near the parks, hospitals, and even churches and parks. So malls, they're very accessible. So that's the place where I live. Describe mo. Neutral lang. What about your neighbors? Do you know who your neighbors are? Tell me about a kind neighbor. So you know how to answer that. So if your answer is, I'm not very particular with talking to my neighbors because we just moved here in Cabanatuan City a year ago. My place of residence used to be in Baguio City for 18 years before my family decided to move here because my father secured a contract here in Cabanatuan City. That's why we're here staying. So I haven't any idea who our neighbors are. But I'll see to it to initiate to know them more. Even though hindi naman totoo. Gets yan? So rapport and connection, eye-to-eye contact. Smile. There's a difference between, hi, my name is Kevin Mangalabnan, it's a pleasure to meet you. Versus, hi, my name is Kevin Mangalabnan, it's nice to meet you. There's a difference if you smile. Okay? So smile. Naman pong peke, ano? All right. So that will be your part 1 about yourself. Color that you like. Do you like traveling? Do you like going to the mall? Dami tanong tungkol sa'yo eh. So you have to be familiar with them. The challenge in part 1 is how we perceive the audience because this will affect the degree of apprehension and nervousness. The more you fear the audience, the more nervous you become. So do not be too preoccupied with the point of view of the examiner. Do not be saturated with what he or she thinks about you. So remove that idea. Let go of perfectionism. No one is perfect. Be yourself. Okay? Therefore, understand to try to put on a smile and set the tone. Befriend your examiner. This lessens the anxiety on your. Don't be reactive but proactive speaker. So we concentrate on the subject because speakers lack confidence when they think too much about themselves. Work on developing enthusiasm for your topic. The more talkative you are, the better assessment you will have. So be detailed on your explanation. Part 2, or the individual long term, is the deciding factor whether you will pass or fail. Once again, how many parts your exam is divided to? 3. So we have the task 1, part 1, or the introduction interview. We have the task 2, part 2, or the individual long term. And we have the task 3, part 3, or the two-way discussion. Now, I've mentioned, if you're going to be as good as those students who got themselves a 9, if you're going to be as good as Sir Irvin, who got himself a 9 many times, if you're going to be as good as Sir Philip, who got himself a couple of 9s already in the IELTS, for both task 1 and 2, for both task 1 and 3, but if you will not do as good as in part 2, you will still not get a band 7. You will not even see the shadow of 7. Ulitin natin in Tagalog. Maging kasing galing mo man, yung mga nakakuha ng 9 before, pero sa task 1 and task 3 lang. At yung task 2 mo, hindi okay, hindi ka pa rin makakakuha ng 7. Kakaintindihan. So I've mentioned the deciding factor whether you will pass or fail is ultimately going to be about your answer in part 2 or in the individual long term. So what happens here, the examiner gives you a task card that asks you to talk about a particular topic, which includes points you can cover in your talk. Ang tawag natin dito ay bullet points. So we have the main topic. It is followed by either 3 to 4 bullet points. So let me give you an example. Talk about the food that you like the most. What is this food? How often do you eat this food? Where do you buy this food? Why do you like it so much? So you have 4 points. Now, if you missed or misunderstand the bullet point, you fail. Once again, kasing galing mo si Sir Irvin sa task 1, kasing galing mo siya sa task 3, pero sa task 2, na-miss mo yung isang bullet point, you will not even see even a glimpse of 7. The highest possible score you can get for a missed bullet point is 6. What if 2 bullet points are missed? You get 5. What if 3 bullet points are missed? You get 4. That's the scoring process when it comes to part 2. That's why this is the deciding factor. So ultimately, for you not to forget any bullet point, we are allowed to make preparations before. So similar to an extemporaneous speaking, you're given the task card. Here's the topic you have to cover later for 2 minutes. But before I ask you to do it, you are given first 1 minute to prepare. Oh, I forget. You have a piece of paper, you have a pencil, you can copy the question because after 1 minute, I'll get the task card. So be sure to copy as quickly as you can and put answers that can serve as your guide later. So we use that as a checklist. So we talk to the examiner, we glance at our checklist, we check it, making sure that we have included everything in the task 2. So if students get 6.5 in speaking, and they don't believe that they are worthy of getting 6.5, for them, they think that they should get a band 7 or higher. I will ask them one thing. Have you answered all the questions in task 2? If they will say yes, then we should apply for a recheck. The recheck process is the initial score. It's actually hard to believe. So for instance, alam natin yung kakayahan mo. Alam mo sa sarili mo yung kakayahan mo. Sa tingin mo, na miss-assess ka lang ng examiner. Nakuha ka ng 6 sa speaking. Kailangan mo ng 7. Okay? Sir, gusto ko sumugal ng recheck. So sa recheck process, meron po tayong sinusunod ng process dyan. I-explain ko siya later. You have to pay a certain amount. So you will be sending your necessary requirements, the results, the payment receipt. So for British Council, it's both speaking and writing. It costs around 6,700 pesos. For IDP, it's individualized. You can either choose between writing lang or speaking lang. It's roughly 3,400 pesos each. So ano mangyayari sa recheck? Another examiner will check your work. So, sir, paano ma-check ng examiner yung speaking ko? That is why the speaking test is recorded. So for regular IELTS, we have this voice recorder machine that examiners have the controls. And for UKVI, there's a camcorder that records the video. So for our testing centers, kung sa amin po kayo mag-exam, naka-zoom po ito. So out of the 18 times na po namin nagkaroon ng exam dito, simula po nung November, isang beses pa lang po may nagpuntang examiner talaga to conduct the one. So for computer-based exam, most of the time, the situation is when you enter the room, there's no examiner, but there's a computer and the examiner is on the other end of the line. Clear? So of course, you'll be using headphones to hear the examiner, and there's a microphone that you can speak through. Clear? Okay. So, any questions so far? Things you want to clarify? Some concerns you have about recheck, etc.? Okay, for recheck, one of my students got a score of 7.5. Her initial score was 6. So from 6, tumalon ng 7.5 yung kanyang score after successful recheck. Ano mangyayari pag successful yung recheck? So mababago yung score mo, mag-i-email sila, magsosorry sila sa'yo, at para makapag-sorry talaga sila, malaman natin na sincere sila. Kasi guys, pag nag-sorry, hindi sincere. Diba? Sorry. Hindi na ako nito mababae. Tapos, may gabi. Ha? Yan na naman. Chat ka na naman ng iba. Tingin ka na naman ng mga TikTok na ganyan. Hmm. So, para makita natin yung sincerity, anong ginagawa natin? May action, tama ba? Okay, we want to show them. So, sila din po, pala sorry sila, sorry, na miss-assess ka namin from 6, tumaas ang score mo, naging 7 na this time, balik namin yung pera. Dali pa lang gawin negosyo. Yes. Kaya sabi ko sa mga sadyante ko, mag-balik check kayo. Sabihin nyo sa nanay nyo, 15,000. Magbabayad kayo ng 6K. Pumasa, balik ulit sa'yo, 6K. Magkano yung pera? Buong mo makukuha 15,000. Saan mo gagasasin yun? Diba? Treat mo yung sarili mo, deserve mo yun. Na-stress ka eh. Tama. Pasalon ka. Bili ka ng mga pantalon sa Guess. Bili ka ng, dagdag ka na ng mga 15K pa. Bili ka ng Gucci belt. Deserve mo yan eh. Okay? Yes, sir. Oh, yes, yes. Hindi. Ano na siya. So, kapag sa exam, mamaya papakita ko, bibigyan ko po kayo ng tour sa ating testing center later. Kung ang examiner nyo po ay organic, andyan siya lahat mismo sa harapan. Mag-motion nyo. Please, come. So, ikaw naman, lakad ka ng dahan-dahan. Tapos, puka lang dito sa tapat na chair. The examiner will tell you, please sit down. So, sit down properly. Say thank you. Because that's polite. Thank you. So, put your earphones on. Kung ito ay computer-based, kung ito naman ay face-to-face, titingto ka pa rin. So, ang proper way of seating po, yung hip, make it parallel with your shoulder, parallel with your ear. So, look at it as a straight line. Huwag masyadong na ganyan, huwag masyadong relax. Pag relax masyado yung candidate, sabi ng examiner, relax ka. Isapan niya natin ang konti. Talk about the significance of birds in life. So, sit properly. Huwag naman masyadong sit. Kasi guys, for you to be relaxed, you have to drop your shoulders. So, minsan kasi parang nakaganyan tayo sa drop. Okay? Inhale through the nose, exhale through your mouth. Tapos relax ka. Alam mo naman yung turn mo eh. Nakaupo ka dun sa waiting area. Bawal po mag-usap-usap. Bawal po mag-usap-usap. May bantay. Masusungit yung bantay ng British Council. Hindi mag-eye to eye. Part 3 is the most difficult part of the speaking test. Why? Kung madadali yung mga tanong kanina, dito iba, mahirap na po ang tanong. Sir, sample na. So imagine, yung tanong mo sa task 2, nakalagay. Okay? Talk about your favorite food. Madali? Mahirap. Madali. Task 3, ganito na yung tanong. Kevin, due to technology, we have improved our food production. It has become faster. Can you tell me about the disadvantages of fast food production brought about by technology? Ano daw ba ang mga nakikita mong hindi maganda dahil mabilis na ang ating paggawa ng pagkain? Yun agad ang bubungan sa task na. Diba? So I think that one of the problems brought by this craze for fast food production is the fact that most of our food available in the market are saturated with fats and salt, thus prolonging the shelf life of canned meats and instant noodle products, which, of course, very fast, quick to eat, but can cause catastrophic consequences to the human body. So I think, even though the food is produced rather quickly today than it was in the past, They are kind of unhealthy. So my suggestion is for people to be vigilant with the ingredients and contents of the food they eat, which is something anyone can easily do just by flipping on the packaging of any food item available, even in the supermarket. They can look at the nutritional content of the food they want to eat. So that is one problem I can see with the fast food production nowadays. It has become unhealthy. Yun ang sagot. Magtatanong din yan. Do you think we should allow children to learn how to cook? Do you think? So some of you will say, yes, I think we should learn. Let them learn how to cook. Sabi niyo naman, no, I think it's not safe for children to learn how to cook. Again, kanya-kanya opinion. If that is your answer, justify it to me. Explain it to me why this is possible. Tell it to me why it's there. I want to hear the full explanation behind it. Okay? So ganun po ang tanungan sa task 3. The topic is more abstract in nature. You need to explain your opinion. You need to express yourself in English. Remember, there are no right or wrong questions. You just have to express yourself in English. Once again, intellect is not important here. What matters more is how you can respond to the answers, to the questions, as personally as you can, as detailed as you can. So let me introduce to you the 4 areas of assessment in the exam: fluency and cohesion, vocab and lexical resource, grammar, and pronunciation delivery. So first, let's talk about fluency and content. The examiners ask certain questions during the interview. Can the person handle himself or herself professionally? So you still handling himself or herself professionally. Pero mag-professional na ganyan. Okay. So will the person be able to relate to different types of conversation? So we have personal conversation, we have expressive conversations. Whether you can shift to one type of question to the next or not with ease, that is what they assess in fluency. Many people mistake fluency with speed. Remember, it's not about how fast you speak. It's about how the examiner can easily digest your answers. Ibig sabihin, hindi po ito pabilisan. So sana naging rapping contest na lang to instead of speaking exam. So the clearer your answer is, the better assessment you will have. How are you going to make your answers clear? By going a bit slower than usual. So, hi, my name is Kevin Mangalaga. You can call me Kevin for short because I'm my friend Colvin. Nakakaintindihan. If you're going to slow it down a bit, hi, my name is Kevin Mangalaga. Just call me Kevin for short. Because that's what my friends and family call me. It's nice to meet you. So Kevin, are you working or studying right now? Currently working at Premier Medical Center as a nurse. I've been working there for 6 months. Started back in October. Now, currently employed at blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. As a you do. Nakuha? All right. When the person relates ideas together, are they coherent or are there some misunderstandings? So your answer should be related to the question. Sabi ko, you can answer whatever you want. What is your name? Taho. What's your favorite food? Kevin. Di ba? Nagets niya yan? Balik kong pagbalik-balik na rin yung sagot eh. And you are still right. But the question of fluency and content is whether your question, whether you as a candidate, you address the question promptly. Your answer is relevant to the question. Sir, what if I wasn't able to understand the question? That's a good question. Ito ng trabaho ko na nagtatanong ako sumasagot. Konti lang, kakausapin ko lang yung sarili ko dito. Alam mo kayo tanong? Ako na talaga magtatanong. Alright? So, the question is, sir, what if I wasn't able to understand the question? Do not ever attempt to answer a question you don't understand. Because it will lead to misunderstanding. Hindi nga kayo nagkakaintindihan, hindi mo naintindihan, sagot ka agad. Diba? We don't just answer for the sake of answering. We answer because we want to respond to the question promptly. Okay? So, sir, I cannot understand it. What are you going to do? Let the examiner know. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to understand your question. Please, repeat it. Thank you. Again, be polite. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to hear your question clearly. Would you mind repeating it? I'd appreciate it if you could. Thank you very much. Diba? Masarap ka usap pag ganun. Come? Pardon? Come again? So be polite. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to hear your question. Can you please repeat it? Thank you. Yes. Okay. For example, what is the significance of words? Sabi ni Sir Art, sir, di po alam sagot. You need to let the examiner know as well. You have to attempt to communicate. Remember, this is not an intelligence exam. There will be occasions when you don't really know the answer. When will those occasions happen? During part 1 and part 2. May mga tanong po dyan talaga, sasabihin ko na sa inyo, hindi po talaga madaling sagutan. At kung ikaw ay susuko, okay na. Tinanong ka, sabi sa task 3, Kevin, what is the difference between the revised Penal Code of Chicago to that of the Philippines? Tinanong ka. Diba? Kevin, why do you think the whole of a manhole is round? Tinanong ka ng ganong question. Sabi ni Arton, suko na ako. Ayoko namang mag-pretend na alam ko. When in fact, I really don't know the answer to the question. You're just making a fool out of yourself. Remember, this is not an intelligence test. So let the examiner know. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to your question. But when I get home today, I'll do my research about it. Thank you. Hindi na. You can actually answer with that. And I'm teaching you right now. If you encounter a question you don't know the answer to, this is your lifeline. Kumbaga sa Super Mario, ito po yung 1-up. May isa ka pang buhay. Sabihin mo, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that question yet. But I'll make sure to do my research about it later when I get home. Thank you. Okay. Tanong na sila ng panibago. Some students did that for 2 times even in one exam. They got 7.5 in the exam. So if you really don't know the answer to the question, let them know. Be honest. They admire honesty more than anything. Hindi mo talaga alam. Diba? Again, hindi ka naman ini-interview para maging undersecretary ng DPWH, kaya ka tinatanong kung ano po ang difference. Kung bakit bilog ang manhole. Hindi ka naman nag-a-apply sa ombudsman, kaya ka tinatanong ng difference between the revised penal code. So, be honest. You can do it as much as 2 times. Okay? Hanggang 2 beses. Pero please naman, mag-attempt ka naman, magbigay ng idea sa ibang questions, ha? Kaya nga maghahanda pa rin tayo. Because we want to limit this from happening. Okay, Sir Arton? If you don't know the answer, let the examiner know by saying so. Please do so politely. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to the question, but don't worry. When I get home today, smile ka pa rin. I'll do my research about it. Thank you. Ayan. Sir, paano po sa task 2? Oo, binigay po dito yung yung question. Ang nakalagay, talk about an author you would like to meet in the future. Putang ina, sino to? Wala akong alam. Wala akong alam na author. Yikes. Diba? Wala eh. Hindi ko alam. Diba? Wala. Kailangan mong pilitin yung sarili mo. Totoo. Sabi mo sa sarili mo, self, gumana ka ng may utak mo. Pag di natin ito nasagot, dito mga pag-Canada. Sabi mo sa sarili mo. An author that you would like to meet in the future. Hindi mo na-expect. Bakit hindi mo na-expect? Kasi hindi ka nagbasa ng mga tanong. Dahil kung binasa mo yung mga tanong, nandun yun sa listahan natin. So to avoid this, prepare. Okay? Prepare by reading the questions. Yes. You can consider them. Writers of articles as well. Ang gagamitin ko ng author dyan, yung gumawa ng One Piece. Okay? Japanese mangaka. But the problem is, you want to meet. That's the context. So, pwede. Sabi nga nung isang student, eto naman. Guys, meron tayo laging proof, ano? Eto po, ano? So, ayan po yung score niya. Overall 7, listening 6.5, reading 7.5, writing 6, speaking 7. For USB sa screen. Ito po yung message niya sa akin. Noong 2020, December 14. Thank you po. I remember one time, di ako makasagot sa tanong mo about travel. And you made an example of it kahit di naman totoo. Since then, I learned how to make up stories kahit di ko naman talaga na-experience. Thank you so much po talaga. So guys, sisinungaling tayo para makapasa. Okay? Sabi nga, what is your favorite color? Your favorite color is magenta. Ang hirap explain ng magenta. Pero kung red ang sasabihin mo, red is the color I like the most because it symbolizes passion and confidence. That is why whenever I go out, I wear my favorite red bracelet to give me this confidence boost. And my first car was actually red in color. Just because I think red is a lucky color as well. So it gives me this confidence boost and this feeling of being lucky. That's why red is my favorite color of all. Magenta kasi mahirap gawa ng explanation. So sometimes you have to lie your way through. Any questions pa? Hey guys, brainstorm tayo. Ano pa? May naisip pa kayo? So always understand the context of the question. Like yung kay ma'am, no? One of the reasons kung bakit, spoiler to, during first coaching session, tinatanong ko sa kanya yung tatlong una kong task ko. One of which being famous person that you would like to meet in the future. So some people would say they want to meet Kobe Bryant. Some people would say they want to meet Michael Jackson. Sabi ko, okay, meet mo sila sa heaven. I get your point. It's physically impossible because you want to meet Albert Einstein, the Queen of England. Kumusta mo kami sa kanila, ha? Ganun sila. Ang hirap eh, di ba? So you need to understand the context of the question first. Lagi nating ika-crack talaga yung task 2. Why? Because once again, your task 2 is the defining factor whether you will pass or not. Nasa task 2 po ang boom. Okay? Takot ba? Takot. Alright. So, what if people also use fillers? you know what? Using is part of the natural speech process. And examiners recognize that. We're not robots. We're not softwares. Everything is perfect, even not using ums and ahs. What we don't want to happen is if candidates use and ahs as a filler. When you say filler, students are afraid to commit a dead error. So I'm telling you something like this. It's fine. You will be pausing for 1 to 2 seconds because pauses add color. It adds flavor to your speech. Clear? Instead of saying, okay, my name is Ian. I'll be your examiner for today. What's your name? Hi, name is Kevin. And it's nice to meet you. Instead of doing that, we can pause. Hi, my name is Kevin, and it's nice to meet you. Instead of you just pause. Huwag naman, as example, hi! Maganon ka pa. Sabi ng examiner, excuse me, security, can you please? Sira ulo dito. Don't overdo it. Kevin, what is your favorite fruit? Gamit ako ng First time. The fruit that I like eating the most is none other than the humble banana. It's actually very delicious, sweet, not too sweet. This fruity flavor gives me my boost whenever I go to the gym. That's why in activities like playing basketball or lifting weights in the gym, I always carry a banana or two in my bag to keep me hydrated and to replenish my potassium levels after a workout. That's why this is my favorite fruit. Not only delicious, but also packed with nutrition. May ako, di ba? Sa umpisa. May ba kayo ulit na wala na. Okay lang, paminsan-minsan gamit ng kami na. It's not a death penalty already. But when you use, gumamit ka ng minus 1. They don't care about that. We're humans, after all. Humans, they have this tendency to somehow use ums and ahs because they're gathering their thoughts. Okay? Ano pa? Can a person relate ideas effortlessly in an organized manner? So we have to organize our speech as well. Okay? In responding to the question, the first statement should be the direct response to it. Umpisa pa lang, sinabi, Kevin, what do you feel when it rains? Ako sabi ng pendant, rain is the process of precipitation that belongs to the water cycle that begins with the evaporation of water and condensation of it in a form of clouds. Once it gets near to mountainous areas, they fall either as raindrops or as snow. And rain is very essential to farmers because they use that as a natural way of irrigating their crop. Okay, let's move on. Punta na tayo sa ibang question. Ang tanong, nasagot mo ba yung question? Yes. But did you answer it properly? No. Because the question is about what you feel. You should have highlighted your emotions and not about rain in a scientific manner. Ang tanong, anong nararamdaman pag umuulan? Sabi mo, ang ulan ay importante sa magsasaka. Ano naman ka magsasaka? Si ate naman. What do you feel when it rains? Natawag sa taas mo. Or what do you feel when it rains? O, gusto mo yung rain? Parehas tayo. Sino dito nalulungkot pag umuulan? Diba? Marami naman din nalulungkot pag umuulan, di ba? Lalo pagka nasa bus ka, Tapos earphones ka, tapos sa dulo ka, tumutuloy mo ka dun sa bus, ang tugtog sa Spotify, Hello ni Adele. Lulungkot tayo doon. I have to be honest. Whenever it rains, makes me sad because I can't do my usual routine, such as running outdoors and going to the park, walking my dog. I'm forced to stay indoors, which makes me grumpy. But I still find ways to have fun, even though it's raining heavily outside, by watching movies or doing some indoor activities like cleaning the house. So when the rain passes, that's a time that I will be doing a daily routine. So oftentimes I feel sad when it rains, but I still find some activities to do, even indoors. Unlike many people who gets sad when it rains, I'm the type of person who belong to the few, feels happy when it does rain. You see, my family's business is mostly agriculture. So we depend heavily on the rain to irrigate our crop properly because it's quite expensive to pay the irrigation. So naturally, when it rains, all of our family members get to be happy and excited because finally our crop will be irrigated. So, and during those times, I remember when I was a kid, we get to play in the farm during the rain, just laugh and run. It's really one of the fondest memories I had during my childhood, playing in the rain with my siblings. I don't have memories of that. We don't have a farm. We don't have siblings. Okay? So, yung estudyante na to, na tinuruan ko magsinungaling, nasa US na to, blonde na nga yung buhok na to. Boys, pili kayo dyan. Trabaho ko lang yun. Ano na magitan sa amin? So, organization of your answer. Number one, your first statement should be the direct response to the question. Your next statement is the explanation why. The third will be the examples that you will provide as proof why your answer is justifiable in the first place. And the last statement is the conclusion. For example, Kevin, what is a country that you would like to visit in the future? Once again, presence of mind, ha? Sabi nung iba, pag tinatanong, what is a country you would like to visit in the future? Sabihin, Paris. Hindi naman country yon. What is a country? New York. Pasing kita na, Mike, pag ginawa mo yan. What is a country you would like to visit in the future? Ever since I saw Japan on television, I've been fascinated with this country. And this is the one country I would wish to visit whenever I get the chance. You see, this country is very technologically advanced, but they still get to respect their heritage. So it's the combination of both worlds. They have the old monuments still being respected by their citizens. And for example, their citizens themselves are known to be very polite and kind to one another. That's why Japan is a country I will visit this year, hopefully, because I'm very amazed with this country's culture, and not to mention the food that I can try. Superb. Japan is a country. Why? At yung reason, example, and then lastly, kaya yun ang gusto kong bisitahin talaga eh. Because dun sa mga sinabi ko kanina. Nagets yan? That's how you respond to a question. That's how you organize your answer. Sometimes, talkativeness will not get you there if your responses are off topic. Okay? So you need to be focusing on the task at hand. Grammar. Grammar. Good news is, in spoken grammar, you don't have spelling, right? You don't have capitalization. You don't have punctuation usage. Which many people have problems dealing with. Ulitin natin. Sa speaking po, wala po tayong problema pagdating sa punctuation, tuldok, comma, apostrophe. Mga tenses even, di naman din masyadong halata. Spelling. Tinanong, Kevin, what is a flower that you like the most? Well, you see, chrysanthemum is a flower that has fascinated me ever since. Can you spell chrysanthemum? You know what? Santan is actually my favorite flower. S-A-N-T-A-N. Hindi po nila tatanong ang spelling ng mga answers. Oftentimes, yung pong verb tenses, hindi rin halata. For example, booked. Cooked. Okay, so mag-example ako ng mali yung grammar. Kevin, tell me about the last time you cooked for your family. So 2 weeks ago, I cooked. Dinig ba? 2 weeks ago, cooked chicken and pineapple sauce for my family. I don't often cook it because I'm not very good at cooking. Because I want to treat my family members since my nephew passed his exams. So I decided, why not try doing this recipe for them? That's why I'm very happy with the result. We get to enjoy it and we get to spend time together. So mali yung tense na ginamit ko for cook. But, ang tanong, is it the deciding factor whether I fail or not? It's not. So you shouldn't be too self-indulgent when it comes to grammar. Huwag ka masyadong self-conscious when sa grammar. So last Sunday, I cook. Still, mali-mali na. So your confidence level gets ruined all because you're too self-conscious in grammar, which is important for you to last for the entire 15-minute interview. Grammar. Very basic thing that you need to know. Ito po ang pinaka-importante. All your sentences must be complete. So no to one word or very short answers. Kevin, do you like listening to music? Yes. Only complete sentences. Yes, I love listening to music, especially slow rock and acoustic songs. I've actually been to a concert of my favorite band a few years ago, and I get to enjoy it. That's why whenever I chance to attend a concert once again, especially if it's one of the rock bands that I like, then I would gladly attend. So 1 to 2 sentences would be fine. Okay po? But your sentences must be complete. Questions in grammar?
So, for example, di ba, may mga British na mag-i-interview. So, what if hindi mag-gets ng examinee yung pronunciation ng nag-interview.
Actually, that's one of the problems that we often encounter. Because the accent of examiners are very thick and heavy. So the roster of the current examiners are mostly from the UK. So we could say that out of the 33 active examiners, more than 10 of them have a thick and heavy British accent. Few of them belong to other parts of the world. So you may encounter an examiner from Egypt. You may encounter an examiner from Argentina. You may even have an examiner from India, a Chinese examiner, which makes things very difficult to understand. What is your name? It's kind of going to sound tough. So listening is as important as speaking. So few things that I would like to highlight with that question is that examiners would want them to be understood. That's why they will not be making their accent be the reason why the candidate cannot understand the question. So parang ito tone down nila yon than usual so that anyone can understand them easily. And if you can't really understand the question, let them know. I'm sorry, can't understand your question. Can you please repeat it? Thank you. I'm having really a tough time following quick questions. You can please slow it down. I can appreciate. Thank you. So just be nice in telling. Maintindihan. Eh sometimes kasi sila naman yung ganadong-ganado. Nawawala sila minsan. So with examiners, British Council currently has 33 active examiners. So most of them are in the Philippines, but few of them belong to other race. So you can encounter a mixture of a thick accent. That's the reason why you also have to think about your answers. You need to think about your answers first. Because especially with what is your favorite food, who is your favorite person, family, who is your favorite member of the family, who is your favorite artist, you need to consider speaking in English. Halimbawa, your favorite food is dinuguan. Examiner mo from Egypt. Sa dinuguan. Ano mo sa balo? Diba? So you have to consider them that they don't know much about our heritage. So if you cannot find direct translations of words of your answers, it's best to describe them. So dinuguan is pork and blood stew. If it's tinumis, you put tamarind leaves together with pork and blood stew. So kaya nga, you have to prepare beforehand. And please do not choose complicated answers that you yourself will be having difficulties explaining. Maganda man sa pandinig yung sagot mo. Kakaiba nga, ang hirap naman ipaliwanag. It ruins that goal. So for grammar and accuracy, you need to avoid being perfectionist here. Few grammatical mistakes could be done, but if you want to really change to correct your error, do it later. So my favorite person in the world is my mother, and he is a great cook. She likes to take care of her kid, us, her kids, and she's a very friendly person. I actually got this friendliness from her. So, nagamit ako ng he kanina, but natatandaan niyo pa ba yung hindi na? Kasi nakorek ko na siya with she later on. So, do not correct it. Oh, I mean they. Oh, you corrected an error with another error, that's going to be bad news. Hindi na nga nahalata, pinahalata mo pa. Lagot ka lalo doon. Kuha? Alright. So next topic is vocab and lexical resource. Many people mistake IELTS as something na, okay, I'm going to take IELTS, I can learn words that are impossible for my friends to understand. That's not the goal of IELTS. Remember, for speaking, your goal is to express yourself in English. Although your examiners have PhD in literature for a couple of times, a couple of areas in literature already. They're very proficient when it comes to the words. They don't like hearing words that do not belong in a natural way of having conversation. So when I started teaching here back in 2016, I had two mentors, one of which nagtayo siya ng sarili niyang review center, which became our competitor up until this very day. Problem was, one of the examiners asked Niner, sabi niya, Niner, why are you teaching your students to complicate their language? Sabi namin, ha? We're not doing that. Kasi we encountered someone, I asked him, what is his favorite food? And you know what the answer was? Ito yung sabi daw ng candidate. In this neoteric era, I'm very flabbergasted to answer your question. My favorite food is adobo. Yun daw yung sagot. So look at the words the person is using. Flabbergasted, neoteric, very complicated words. So if you're going to understand what flabbergasted is, that's like being shocked. That's flabbergasted. Diba? You're shocked to the extreme level. Neoteric, that's a word that no one uses. Neoteric. So, we are advised to teach you guys, refrain from using complicated words and use simple English that you can be much more understandable. Yung mas madali kang maiintindi. The simple answer you give, the better justice you can guarantee. This one is perhaps the most important part of the speaking test. You can actually forget everything I've said for the past 2 hours. Ma'am, welcome. Ito pa lang po ang simula. Dito lang magsisimula ito lahat. Sa pronunciation. Throw everything away. Except pronunciation. You can pass your exams with poor grammar, accuracy. You can use simple English. Just respond to the question promptly. But making sure that your delivery is optimum. Making sure that your pronunciation is well versed. Then you can get a much decent score than most candidates. So, does the pronunciation of the person hinder effective communication? Natural, kung ikaw kakanta sa video ng matataas, bago ka mag-exam. So you have to prepare yourself both physically and mentally. Okay? Does the person put appropriate stress on words? Are you guys familiar with stress and intonation? Okay? So when you say stress and intonation, it makes the speech production flow more smoothly. So let me give you an example. Let us fight terrorism. It doesn't give you much impact, right? Let us fight terrorism. But if you highlight one word from that sentence, let's say I'm going to put it with let. Let us fight terrorism. Let us fight terrorism. Let us fight terrorism. Let us fight terrorism. So it gives you variations. So you can choose which one of your words needs highlighting. It depends on how well you can manipulate your speech production. Kung saan ka mas comfortable. The fruit that I like eating the most is banana. I like eating banana because it's tasty, it's nutritious. When I go to the gym, I carry a banana in my bag. Wow. Kevin, how did you celebrate your most recent birthday? I was so happy with my recent birthday because I spent it with my family. We went to Baguio City. We ate different kinds of... Okay yung grammar, okay yung vocabulary. But the delivery, full of flaws. So put stress. Ano yung glide? This is a feature of American accent. You will hear Americans speak. They tend to put the words together. They stitch the words together as a glide. Kaya siya glide for smoothness. Kasi mga tamad yung mga Americans magsalita. So they don't open their mouth wide enough. So if they're going to say, it is an excellent example, they would say, it's an excellent example. Gee, no, did you? Did you eat? No, did you? They speak rather fast. So you have to slow down the rate of your speech. Avoid, yeah, cause, wanna, gonna, avoid slangs. Avoid shortcuts. Do you like eating food? Yeah! I like that. I wanna eat that. Like that. But later, I'm gonna eat one. Lahat ng mali, sinabi mo lahat sa isang sagot pa lang. And there's a probability that the examiners will ask you with yes or no questions. So you have to vary your yes and no. Like eating fruit? Yes. Like eating spicy food? Yes. So wag lang puro yes, wag lang puro no. You have to respond affirmatively by saying, I like eating that. Do you like eating fruit? Yes. Wag naman puro yes. I think eating fruit is good for the body. That is why I always include a cup or two in my diet, especially bananas and pineapples, which helps me with the digestion. Do you like watching horror films? I'm afraid I'm not a big fan of horror films because I don't want to scare myself. One time I remember when I was a kid, I watched this film called Nightmare on Elm Street. The plot was this man, Freddy, haunts the dreams of kids. So when children fell asleep, he get to interfere with someone's dreams. That's why after 3 days, I wasn't able to get sleep and I underwent therapy just for that. Ever since then, promise myself not to watch any more horror films. Kanya-kanya tayong sagot, ha? But that's how you answer affirmatively, negatively. Okay? Kevin, do you like shopping in the mall? For me, shopping in a mall is better than shopping online. For the reason that when I go to the mall and see a pair of garments that I would like to try, I can fit them and see whether it matches the color tone and my size. Unfortunately, shopping online doesn't give me this benefit. So one time I ordered a pair of Crocs, which was on sale. But when it arrived, it was just a keychain. I thought that's something I could wear. So imagine my disappointment. That's why I believe that shopping in a mall is better for people like me. So ganun po yung justification. Does the voice quality hinder effective communication? So pag sabing voice quality, you have to make sure that your voice is resonant. So do not manipulate your voice to the point na magiging sobrang tinis niya or magiging sobrang thick ng boses. So use your natural speaking voice. Okay? But make sure it is resonant. So the speaking subtest requires you to answer the questions in full. So we have personal answers, intellectual answers, type of speech memorized should be applied in part 1, extemporaneous should be in part 2, and impromptu in part 3. So task 1, name Nickname, do not spell out. Just give your name and wait for further questions and be confident by smiling. Know the following facts about yourself: age, civil status, birthday, family, hometown, educational background, work experience. Personal, like hobbies, interests, likes and dislikes, favorites, personality, something unique, and plans. They will also ask you questions about your past experiences, your current situations, and your future plans. So hometown, geographically, where is your town located? Number of residents, if you're familiar with the type of environment, something unique, what's special about your hometown. Examiners could also ask that. Describe your house. What does it look like? What is it made of? Ornaments. So people also ask you questions like this. What is the color of your room? Would you want to change the color of your room in the future? Tell me about a photograph that you put inside your room. Are there paintings in your house? Yeah, ask you questions about it. All right. So for content, and examiners ask you questions. What is your favorite part of the house? How common is this question? Sir Irvin was asked with this question. I was asked with this question. My best friend got asked with the same question. Tatlo kami na tanong ng ganong tanong. What is your favorite part of it? Never answer bedroom. Never answer kitchen. Why not bedroom? There's nothing to talk about anymore. Tutulog ka lang naman dun. Yun lang naman pag-usapan niyo, tulog. Punta ka dito sa exam para pag-usapan niyo yung tulog. Diba? Kitchen. So many people answer kitchen. That's where I can cook food for my family. Those are very common questions. But we don't just want to give very static answer. Sir Irvin's answer, staircase. What is your favorite part of the house? Sabi kay Sir Irvin. My staircase is my favorite part of the house. Especially, I like to sit in the middle of my staircase because it symbolizes where I am right now. The flight of stairs below me symbolizes all the steps I took for me to get here. All the hardships I was able to go through. And the flight of stairs above me gives significance to the things I can still achieve in life. So that's why this is my favorite part of the house. My staircase. Wow. How many people in your life will you encounter who would answer staircase is their favorite part of the house? Come on. But not very common. You know what my answer was? Rooftop. You know what my best friend's answer was? Window. And part of the house I like, it's my window. When I move the curtains to see the view, I get to enjoy the beach. I can hear the waves of the ocean. Tangin mo, sinungaling mo, hayop ka. Ilog lang tabi ng bahay niyo, beach ka pa, hayop ka. Ano mo ka? Pal na mukha mo. Okay. Second time na nag-take it. Okay? So, examiners will ask you about your house, about things related to this. Describe your job, profession, type of work, place of work, working hours, environment, length of service, duties, responsibilities, relationships with colleagues. So for fillers, limit fillers as much as you can. Be prepared at all times. Anything can be asked. So questions are sometimes being asked instantaneously. If question is not clear, ask to clarify. Directly answer first, then give out the reason because for the reason that due to, okay. Avoid repeating the words used in the examiner's question. Use your own. What is your name? Hi, I'm. Are you working? Are you studying? I'm currently employed at. You live in a house or an apartment. My place of residence is located at. What is your favorite fruit? The fruit that I like eating the most is. So don't just parrot the examiner. Paraphrase the examiner's question, make it your own. Okay. Last one. What are you good at? What are you known for? What do you enjoy? Please don't let it be borrowing money from people and not being seen after a while. Na? Okay. So, mag-meditate ka later pag uwi mo ng bahay. What am I good at, really? What do I enjoy? And what am I known for? What are the following facts about myself? You have to develop this enthusiasm of knowing yourself because you can make good use of it during the examination day. Yan, mahaba lang. So, wag na pong gumamit ng kakaibang words. Sabi mo, instead of shy, bashful kaya. Instead of hardworking, diligent kaya. Naka-Pokemon. Lahat yan po yung mga nature ng Pokemon. Kasi ako po ay fan niya. Ano? So, sa colors, keep it simple. That is your task one. Any questions? They ask you about food. They ask you about movies, books, songs, childhood experience, future plans. May natatanong about perfume. Do you like putting on perfume? If you say yes, sure. If you don't want to put perfume, it's fine. Say no. Diba? Hours spent on the internet, websites that you often visit, shops that are near the place where you live, changes in your town for the past 10 years. He will ask you those questions. As to the most important part of your IELTS speaking test. So once again, in this part, you are given a task card which contains a question followed by guide points, which we call bullet points. In the bullet points, there are some instructions given to you. You are given a pencil and a paper to outline your ideas. You are given 1 minute to organize. Use it wisely, please. Talk uninterruptedly for 2 minutes. You will not be asked by the examiner anymore during this part. You'll be on your own. So this is just you talking, covering everything you need to cover in your task. Right? Start when told to start, stop when told to stop. So if you're going to take the pen and paper base exam, you have this physical countdown timer. But if you're going to take the computer delivered IELTS, the countdown timer is seen on the screen. Okay? Which means that you are notified kung malapit ka nang matapos. You need to make sure na makover mo lahat ng topics. Do not limit answers on the guide points. You may expound further, but do not fall out of topic. Do not be preoccupied with the time. Avoid controversial topics. Avoid religion. Avoid politics. Okay? Apply the music of English by having variation in your tone and emphasis. Example. Yan po ay natanong, 2017. Discuss the national bird of your country. So example, today is my exam. This is my computer screen. I'll be using this. Yan siya. So, kunwari po, ito yung aking papel. Ito po yung aking pencil. Na-type ko siya. So, para legit, magpe-play po ako dito ng 1 minute countdown timer. Para makita nyo kung paano ako mag-prepare. 1 minute. Okay, go. National bird. Topic. National. Kunwari po, lapis papel to ha. Of my country. This is the Philippine monkey eating eagle. What is it? Describe appearance. What are characteristics? Highlight abilities. Symbol, freedom. Why? Suitable because second largest bird known to man. All right, time is up. I'm an examiner. Okay, Kevin, your preparation time is over. Now, let me get this task card back from you. Hala ka, kinuha yung task card. Kailangan masagot ko daw lahat ng nandun. Anong gagawin ko? It's a good thing na gumawa ako na to as my checklist para yung 2 minutes na talk ko, which starts right now, makapag checklist ako. Kevin, you may now begin. Okay, so the national bird of my country is locally known as the Philippine monkey-eating eagle, which is native in the southern part of my country, oftentimes seen in Davao, but in some areas of Visayas, there have been some sightings of its appearances. So this eagle is huge. It has around 1.7-meter wingspan, which is as big as an adult, an average adult. So it has very sharp claws, beaks, and eyesight, which this animal uses for hunting prey. So the reason why it's called Philippine monkey-eating eagle is because its diet include small snakes and even small mammals for its snack. So this animal uses such characteristics to prey on smaller animals. So the symbol of the Philippine monkey-eating eagle is freedom. You see, my country has been captured by both the Spaniards, Americans, and quite recently, the Japanese. So this Philippine monkey-eating eagle is very suitable for its position because this is also the second largest eagle, much larger even than the American bald eagle. So it gives us this confidence boost that even though there are oppressors, we can still enjoy the freedom that has been fought by the national heroes of my country through the national bird, the eagle. Tapos ang 2 minutes. So if examiners decide to cut you off 2 minutes, that's already done. You covered everything you need to cover. There's no need to worry. This is another example. Okay? Tell something about the food you like the most. Sabi ko nga natin, ito po ay English exam. So if you're going to mention a Filipino delicacy, please describe it and translate it in English. All right? So my favorite food is ice cream. Yun lang siya. What is this? Dairy product combined with flavors. How often do I eat ice cream? Probably mga 2 to 3 times a week. Where do I buy this? Fast food and supermarket. Why? I like tasty, cool to taste, cold, sweet, enjoyable, especially in summer. All right, toot, toot. Time is up. So Kevin, I will now get the task card back from you. Tell me about your favorite food. So I don't have anything left beside this preparatory material that I can use as a checklist. Kasi kukunin talaga nila yung task card. So let's begin. So the food that I like eating the most is ice cream. Ice cream is made from combining dairy product, particularly cow's milk, mixed with different flavors, especially vanilla, and my most favorite one being strawberry. Partly because it's so difficult to eat strawberry since we have to go all the way to the northern part of the country, Baguio City, just to get fresh produce of it. So I often eat ice cream every day when I was a kid because of how I really like eating it. But quite recently, I just eat 2 to 3 times a week because I do know that consuming too much sugar can have negative effects on the body. So that's why I try to keep my consumption of ice cream to a minimum. So I can usually purchase ice cream as a dessert in many different fast food restaurants like McDonald's. They offer matcha chocolate ice cream sundaes. They also put ice cream in Coca-Cola, making it the Coke float. I really like that. And I can buy bigger containers like pints and gallons of ice cream in a supermarket with many different flavors to choose from. I like this because I like eating sweet food. Ever since I was a kid, I like eating chocolates, cakes, and different kinds of pastries, but I cannot forget how good ice cream is, especially in summer days where it tends to be very hot and humid. So eating ice cream not only makes me cool my senses off, but also makes me indulge into something that tastes really amazing. And that is why ice cream is my favorite food. Now, ang sabi natin dyan, examiners could let you speak for a minimum of 2 minutes. But it should be up until 3 minutes. So there are different kinds of examiners. If you, as an examiner, will be satisfied with 2 minutes, you can move on and move to task 3. If you're the type of examiner that is not satisfied with the 2-minute talk and decides to add more questions, actually examiners will not ask you anymore. This is the individual long term. Instead of asking you questions, they will just do this instead. They will do this instead. What is this? Hand gesture. Why are they doing it instead of telling, hey, add more? Because the speaking test is recorded. They are not allowed to coach you. But the examiner is kind enough to let you know, hey, kulang ka pa sa time, magdagdag ka pa. That's why they do this. So, not all examiners are kind-hearted individuals. So you have to be the one to make sure that you are keeping track of time by looking at the timer. So, sir, bakit ang turo mo sa amin 25 to 30 seconds lang per bullet point? So, natatapos ka lang in 2 minutes. E paano nga kung may examiner na gusto pa niya ng 3 minutes? That's where you add more information. That's where you add more details. Kasi we're not so sure eh. Whether you're the examiner na satisfied na sa 2 minutes, paano kung ang inuna ko puro daldal, tapos may 2 bullet point ako na hindi nasagot? Kahit na gusto ko talaga siyang masagot, wala na akong time, hindi ko pa rin nasagot yung 2 bullet point. Just letting me get a band 5. Pero kung sasagutan mo lahat, yung 4 bullet points initially for 2 minutes, kung mag-ask pa yung examiner ng kadagdagang information, doon ka magdadagdag ng additional info because it is now being required. So, ano mga pwede mong idagdag? History about the topic at occasions related to the topic. So, first of all, history. Sabi ng examiner, all right, I remember the first time I ate ice cream. So I was watching cartoons. I saw this commercial of Selecta Cornetto. That's a local brand of ice cream in my country. And I told my mom, I want to taste this. I want you to buy this for me. But my mom was very persistent not to buy me. So I made a fuss about it. Now we went to a supermarket to buy groceries for the month. And I was surprised because she gave me this Cornetto ice cream. She actually bought a bunch. And she told me that, hey, I know that you belong to the honor class of your grade. So I'm treating you this as a reward. So I was very happy ever since then. That's why whenever I accomplish anything, make me big or small, I will always arrange to have this ice cream party for myself. Just enjoying a pint of ice cream all by myself as a reward. That is because of this event. Sabi ng examiner, bitin pa ako. Gusto ko pa. You see, there are a lot of parties, especially children's parties, that would not be complete without ice cream. So, it can be enjoyed by anyone from all kinds of ages, from young to old people like me. Anyone can enjoy ice cream. So parties for me are not complete without seeing ice creams. Tapos, sabi ng examiner, okay, I'm satisfied. Let's move on to task 3. How has food production these days changed compared to the past? O, tuloy ka na sa part 3 na. Nakuha po? Okay. Once nagsimula na po si examiner, that begins the part 3 already. So I have here your assignment. Name a TV show you like watching. So I want you to search channels later today and prepare for this type of question. Hanap ka ng educational program, no? TV show. So if you're going to browse History Channel, Discovery Channel, you can find a lot of shows to choose from. Wag lang po mga soap opera, mga kabitan, wag naman puro ganun ng TV show. Kasi it is less interesting to talk about. So again, I have nothing against your answers, but I'm just giving you tips. How can you improve with types of questions like this? So ang sample ko dyan, the Pawn Stars. This is a reality TV program from History Channel, shown at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So in the Philippines, it's shown at around 8:30 p.m. So the program is all about people coming in to this pawn shop, owned and hosted by the Harrison's family. So in the past, it was originally owned by the old man. That was his stage name. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2021. So the current owner of the shop is Rick Harrison. So the story is like this. Someone will find a relic of the past. It could be a coin, a dagger, or a book, and they will be asking this pawn shop to appraise the item, both historically and its value for money. So they can either choose to pawn it or to sell it. So that is what the program is. And I like this program a lot because I get to know history without being too bored about it. So I get to be excited what happened in the past. And you are given proof that things of those have really existed because you have evidence to show. One time, Picasso showed this drawing on live television, and this piece got lost. Now, someone is claiming that this is what Picasso drew, and he has a copy, and it was sold for about $100,000. So it made a fortune for this person, and it changed someone's life because of it. That's why The Pawn Stars is my favorite TV show. Describe a friend who you really like to spend time with. Ang tanong, kaibigan lang ba puri mo sa kanya? Alright, so ito madaling sagutan to. Alright. Any questions in task 2? Are you sure? Okay. Ay, pakibalik. Describe a friend who you really like to spend time with. When and how you met. How often do you see this friend? What kind of personality your friend has? And why you like to spend time with this particular friend. You're the only one who know why. So tell us. Task 3 is the two-way discussion. This is the concluding stage of your test. This can either be follow-up of task 2. Oftentimes, you can encounter questions which are not even related to task 2. Remember, questions are being asked instantaneously. So maybe more of critical questions, maybe abstract in nature. The most challenging aspect of impromptu speaking is in generating and organizing your thoughts. Sometimes when asked a question, your mind may get flooded with countless possible answers. Other times, you may draw a complete blank. The challenge will even be greater if your topic is on a subject you know nothing about. So make sure to know what you're talking about. There could be sensitivity to the topic as well. So regardless of what situation you may find yourself in, it can be very useful for you to know that there are certain methodologies that can help us formulate and organize our off-the-cuff responses. First one being prep. Can you guys repeat this? Prep method. Okay, this method is probably the easiest to use. You open up by stating a point. In the body of your topic, you outline reasons for stating this point and illustrate with examples. Your conclusion then restates the point you first made. So tell me something about a place where you want to spend your holiday vacation. This is my sample. Malta is a wonderful holiday destination. It is a country drenched in history and offers an abundance of activities for travelers. There are churches, bastions, they have wrecks, and someone can take a dip in one of their bays. Of course, these are just some of the things Malta has to offer. It really is a wonderful holiday destination. Why a hole of a manhole is round? What if you get asked with a question you don't have any idea about? Be honest. Tell the examiner, fortunately, I don't know the answer to that question. But when I get home today, I'll do my research about it. Thank you. Don't forget to be polite, okay? So, ito po yung mga sample task 3 natin. Favorite part of the house when you were a child? How did you feel when growing up at your house? Mode of transport used in traveling. Which do you prefer? Public or private transport? Well, in choosing between private or public transport, definitely I would choose the public transport, especially the bus. So I learned how to drive in 2020, and driving a car, especially long drives, can be very problematic, especially during traffic. So by riding the bus, going to my destination, I can rest, I can put my earphones on and just sleep. But I can't do that when I'm driving, or especially when I'm with my family because everyone will be talking. So I prefer the public transport more than the private transport. How do you spend your leisure time? How do you manage your time? Okay, guys, how do you manage your time? kwentang kausap. Ano? Eto na lang ba tayo? Ha? Yes, how do you manage your time? Do you have a schedule? You just do things when they happen? You're a more spontaneous kind of person? Do you use your phone to give you reminders of someone's birthday? Routine, use your calendar? Oh, what can you say about the buildings around your hometown? Wala pa akong masabi, building lang. What can you say about the buildings in your hometown? Natatanong yan. Can you work if there's a noise? Can you work if there's a noise? Ba? If it's pleasant noise, like classical piano music, I think I cannot focus appropriately. There is no background music. But if the music is loud hammering and unpleasant barking of dogs for hours, and I don't think I can concentrate more on the subject I'm learning. It depends on the noise exactly. But I prefer classical music. Who do you want to go to when you travel? Because my mom gets to be with me, she'll pay for everything. Which group of people you want to help? Skills that you acquired recently, what's the kind of service that you want? Is your favorite subject helpful to your present life? Say your favorite subject was physics and you're a nurse. Do you think it's helpful? Yes, because in physics, the subject matter covers the different gravitational and physical object. So being a nurse, we can also apply physics to the intravenous infusion for patients by means of gravity. If you don't put the fluid high enough, the flow of the blood will return to the bag instead of the bag to the patient. So there are a couple of things that you can think physics with. Because of my job nursing, I get to learn how to become more efficient in my job because describe a flower that best represents you. Sometimes hindi po gender specific ang tanong. Boys, pwede kayong matanong ng describe a flower that best represents you. At girls, pwede kayong matanong ng describe a bird that best represents you. At mga girls, para mga ano yan, mga hawk. Ano yung hawk? Napakatalas ang mata niya. Tama? Diba? Nasa entrance pa lang yan ng SM. Ano, sales agad, oh. 30% off. Tapos, medyo lalayo pa ng konti mata sa escalator. Pwede ba, kasama niya yun? Mag-isama sila. Ganun po talas ang kanilang panig. So, na may gusto kayong pahanap? Sila po, magaling. Imbestiga. Which do you prefer? Going to the mall or to a museum? Huwag pong hypocrite ha. Siyempre mall. Sa museum kasi, we can only see things for once. They will not change. Yung pa rin naman yung tabo na ginamit ng Rizal ng bata pa siya. And going to the mall, that's our basic needs. Food, shelter, clothing. Pay attention to the question, listen carefully, answer immediately in as much detail as you can. Explain your answers, draw on your own experience and give examples. Speak like there's no tomorrow. The examiner wants to hear whether you can talk at length on a range of topics. There are no right or wrong answers. Avoid jargon, slang words, be confident. Speak clearly at the natural pace. So ano po yung mga jargon? Yung mga words na ikaw na nakakaalam, especially mga medical terms. So avoid po natin yung mga self-limiting vocabulary. What is happiness for you? Do you think advertising influences what people buy? So bigyan ko ng answer yan. Kevin, do you think advertising affects what people buy? In my opinion, ultimate goal of advertising is to encourage the buyers to purchase their products. That is why they resort to the influential people like celebrities to promote their items in commercials, for example. By doing so, they can not only let people know the existence of their products, but they can also lure potential customers and can develop this brand loyalty to them, attaching it to the brand's image. So I think it does affect the behavior of consumers of what to buy and what not to purchase. Okay. So, what kind of things give status to people in your country? You think material possessions, they give status symbols to the people in my country. So people can have cars, but not anyone can own luxury cars. People can have houses, but not everyone can own huge houses in exclusive subdivision. So this exclusivity is only for the rich and privileged. And most of them, they silent brag about it by purchasing something that not many people can have access to, like luxury belts, designer and fashion bags, which cost millions of pesos. So they do give status symbols to people in my country. They are the people in power and they are the rich and privileged. What to do before the exam? Think and speak in English. Practice whenever there's a chance. Consider recording yourself while practicing. So sa mga first-timers po, ito po ang ating gagawin ha. Gawin ng bahay. Scan those questions. Answer them. And as you answer them, record yourself while facing a mirror. You understand? Okay. So, nagra-random check ka. Question. Talk about your favorite photograph. Ano nga ba? So, mag-isip ka, mag-brainstorm ka. Kasi dami-dami ng picture na meron ka sa phone, meron ka sa bahay, naka-display. Ano yung pinaka-paborito mo ba? You have to explain. Who are in the photo? And why, among all the pictures you have, why is this your favorite? Practice, consider recording, familiarize yourself with topics that you fear about. Remember guys, ang exam po ay yan po ay hindi naka-fit sa gusto mo. Sometimes, you will be preparing for all the questions available. Tapos sa'yo pa matatanong yung mga unang beses na matatanong questions. So please consider them. Dress appropriately. Collared shirts. Bring jackets in the exam. There's a reason why we put the aircon on full blast in the branch. Number one, for you to get used to the climate in the country that you wish to go to. Punta ka ng Canada, tapos 16 degrees, ginawa ka doon, negative 30 nga doon. Tapos, the examination center kasi puts the aircon on full blast as well. So, may student tayo from Tonga. Sabi, sir, totoo nga. Kahit yung turo mo na malamig, dito malamig din. Student tayo sa Doha. Talaga lahat ng testing center, isa lang pinagkakaparehas. Napakalamig na testing center. That's why you bring your jackets. Okay? Bomber jackets, hooded jackets would do. Denim jackets would be fine. Cardigans, blazers for ladies, pwede. Huwag naman yung leather jacket na may tusok-tusok pa, no? Kasi Bon Jovi. Right? Ito concert mo. So, bring an ID. Bring the ID that you use booking the test. So, kung humid ito, national ID at passport, yun po yung mga allowed kasi. Hindi po ina-allow natin ang driver's license. It's either humid o SSS, GSIS, national ID. Sabi nga nila, salamat, may paggagamitan na yung national ID. Ayaw din naman nilang gamitin kasi ang pangit daw nila sa national ID. Totoo ba? Hindi pa dumarating yung national ID. So passport will be the best. Ang problema lang kasi natin kay passport, sometimes naabutan ka na ng renewal. Hirap pa naman magpa-schedule ng renewal ng passport. So, dapat po pag nag-take ka ng exam, hindi expired yung passport mo at maging sa pag-claim mo ng results, hindi expired ang passport. Think about it before you book the test. Do not be late. Alright? You actually have to be in the testing center at least an hour. So kung ang schedule mo ng speaking ay 10 a.m., dapat you have to be within the vicinity kasi malapit ka lang ng 9 o'clock. Park ka na ng 9:30, nag-register ka na, naghihintay ka na ng turn. You have to be at the testing center an hour before the test. Dahil 10 to 15 minutes po ang naglalas yung exam. So imagine, kung yung examiner, puro 10 minutes lang, kasi magbilis lang sumagot yung students. Matipid magbigay ng sagot, so mababa yung score. So hindi tumagal ng 15 minutes. So yung 9:10 to 9 to 9:15, 9:15 to 9:30, 9:30 to 9:45, 9:10, 9:20, 9:30. Ikaw na pala ng 9:40, alas 10 ka pa, na-adjust yung sagot. So you have to be there an hour before. Clear? Ang examiners po, meron tayong examiner A, examiner B. So, depende po yun sa hatian nila. Let's say, yung first 5, examiner A, second 5, si examiner B. The following day, iba na naman. So, iniiba-iba nila para, kasi, halimbawa, ikaw, best friend mo si, pangalan ng isang friend? Si G. Meron kayong tindata na gano'n. So, nalaman nyo na si, kumalong ka, si Ara. Kumalong ka, si Cindy. So, bawal kasi yung mga gano'n na mga symbol sa candidates. No? Bawal yung mga senyasan. So, please, sa exam, huwag pong gaganon, ha? Okay? Bawal po magsenyasan. Bawal. Kasi makakategorize po kayo as cheater. Okay? Ano ba ginagawa sa cheaters? Binaban po sa exam. So, hindi na po tayo makapag-ayos. Okay naman, may OET naman. Ibaban ka rin sa OET. Sayang. Hindi ka na makakapag-ibang bansa. Pwede. Ano ka, diyan ka sa Singapore, sa Macau. Hindi ka na makapag-Canada. Sayang naman. Okay? Alright. Don't be late. During the exam, be confident by smiling. Do not sit down unless advised. Establish a connection with the examiner. Huwag naman yung taling ng tingin mo. Nisindak mo siya. No? Organize your thoughts and have presence of mind. Avoid short answers. Always try to explain with great detail and clarity. Be assertive. Ito yung sagot ko. You cannot make me go against it. Kasi there will be occasions that examiners will challenge your answers. So nangyari, for example, tinanong ka ng examiner, would you consider staying in a hotel with a bad review? I will go, no, because the reason why I will book a hotel is because I would like to have a memorable experience with me and my family. Therefore, pleasant experience is what I will put in mind. What if I give it to you for free? Ha? Paano kung libre ito? Magbabago ka ng isip? So, dapat hindi ka pa magbabago ng isip. They will challenge your answer often. So, do your best. Use the correct verb tense. Do not hesitate to correct yourself. Avoid repetition of words. No? Iba kasi pag tinanong, what is your name? Well, my name is Kevin. Where are you from? Well, lahat ng intro, well. So, bari mo din yung introductory phrases. Give answers you can talk more about, guys. A simple answer with more detail that you can be comfortable discussing is better than a complicated, uncommon one that you only have few explanations for. So again, no right or wrong answer. Imagine you're talking to a friend. Imagine we are friends. We haven't seen each other for a long time and we're just catching up. Do not be too formal. But please be polite. Your examiner is still older than you. Think about it for a minute. And your examiner, the one that you're talking to, is the one who will give you your score. So medyo sip-sip tayo ng konti sa kanya. Friendly dapat. Make sure that your voice is well modulated. So make your voice as resonant as possible. After the exam, do not ask for your score. This is disrespect. Okay? And thank the examiner. Thank you. Then leave the room silently. Frequently asked questions. Can I choose a topic to be talked about? No, but you can direct them to the topic that you want to talk more about by discussing the previous topic with great clarity. Sabihin nila, what is your work? I'm working as a nurse. How many hours a day do you work? Oh, it depends. Sometimes I work as 8 hours, 16 hours. It depends. What's something that you would like to change about your work? Hindi ka nga comfortable dun sa work eh. Kaya matipid ka sumagot, puro doon kanila pupunta yan. So, but if you can talk more about this topic for 40 seconds to 1 minute, they will move on to much more easy questions. Like hobbies naman, watching movies naman. Tapos dahil naka 4 minutes ka na, lilima pala yung tanong, move on na tayo sa task 2. Do we really need to talk for 2 minutes in task 2? Actually, 2 minutes is just the minimum. So you have to add more detail should the examiner require you to add. Okay. What if I don't have an idea about the topic? Be polite, let them know. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to the question, but when I get home today, I'll do my research about it. Thank you. How long should I talk when I'm asked a question? Do not stop. Okay? Talk uninterruptedly. Speak as if there's no tomorrow. Because when you speak, you are in control of the time and the types of questions you will get asked. Should I keep on talking until she asks the next question? Precisely. Is accent required in the examination? Actually, you have to use your neutral accent. There's no use imitating British accent if you cannot do it proficiently. So, pronunciation is part of your assessment, and the more neutral your pronunciation is, the more they appreciate it. So please use the neutral accent. What if I didn't hear the question clearly? Ask for the question to be repeated, but please do so politely. Do I have to answer all the questions in the task card? Yes, because if you will miss or even misinterpret the task, you fail. Yun po ang nakakatakot dyan. Seems like you're telling the examiner, you know what? Here's 11,500 pesos. I'll say goodbye to it. Bye, 12K. Mayaman naman ako. Marami pang so we don't have such liberty. So please make this your final exam. I don't want to see your faces again after taking this. Okay? What are the topics that are usually asked during examination? I'll be posting a link both on our Facebook group and Discord server. Unfortunately, hindi na po natin na ipopost ang links sa schedule community chat. Dahil nababan po ako ng Facebook. Akala porn yung sinishare ko sa inyo. Dahil Google Drive yun. So, para mas mabilis po yung access, ang suggestion ko po sa inyo, mag-subscribe po kayo sa ating channel. Pag nag-premiere na po yung aking video, after po nito ma-post process HD, magno-notify agad sa inyo yun na this video is ready for viewing. Kasi yung handout, nandun po sa description. So always. Okay, check your YouTube notification. Kasi, pagdala na rin ng kabisihan, hindi na namin siya napopost. Alright, so always refresh your YouTube para makita po yung new videos. Nasaan yung handout? Nandun sa description ng video. What you say is important, grammar, vocab, fluency, pronunciation, but how you say it also matters. Your delivery, content, style, charisma, posture, gesture, and eye contact. They are important. Final reminder, practice and pray. That is the end of our discussion. 3 hours. Medyo minadali ko lang sa gitna kasi nakikita ko mga gutom na kayo. Any questions before we end? So, for our 4 remaining participants, we have Giselle, John, Cedric, Catherine, and Karen May. Thank you for participating. Since you don't have any questions during, I'll assume you don't have questions even until now. So God bless, good luck, and have a nice day.